You're watching this as I'm uploading it, then I am sorry that I've been so inactive for the past couple of weeks. My health took a bit of a dip, but I'm back on it, starting my videos again, and I'm going to start with something a little bit different to get me back into the swing of it. And I'm going to talk to you guys about how I gained 100,000 followers on Instagram in under a year. Now, before I start, I don't want to give anybody the illusion that there is some trick recipe to this, that if you follow, you will 100% gain that following, because it's different for every single person and there is no trick to it. But I can tell you some of the things that I found that have helped me along the way, and yeah, maybe it will help you as well. So I'm going to start off by saying that the most important thing on Instagram is to know your brand. Know exactly what you want to put across. I mean, if you're like a fashion blogger, or if you're gonna do food, or if you want to do influencing, make it clear by what you post. The best thing that you can do is know what you want to be yourself before you're going to show other people what you want to be, because then it makes it really easy for people to understand and follow and know exactly what they're going to be following when they do follow you. In terms of knowing your brand, it's also then knowing what you're going to post. Obviously, everybody posts different amounts on Instagram. You see some accounts that post multiple times a day, and some accounts, you know, you won't have seen them for 2 weeks and suddenly they posted something and you kind of forgot they even existed. Now, again, there is no recipe for this, but what I've personally found is that if you post more than once a day, it's just too much. It's a bit overwhelming. When I follow people and they post more than once a day, I'm like, you know, stop, basically, 'cause it's boring and it's annoying and it's just constant of their face or, you know, their food or whatever. Like, it's just a bit much, so I wouldn't do that. But then I'd say the same with not posting enough. I think that the best thing you can do is trial different things. Like, try posting maybe once a day or once every other day. I mean, I'm constantly evolving and trying new things in terms of how often I'm going to post. At the moment, I probably post 5 out of 7 days a week. When I first started this, I posted every day and I was gaining about 10k a month. But like everything, it slows down. So now I've started posting slightly less just to see if that gets me a better engagement. Instagram will, when you adjust your page to a business page or a creator or whatever you want to be on Instagram, you'll get all your analytics up, which is really, really cool, because it means that you can see exactly how you're doing, and, you know, you can see how much engagement, how many likes, follows, etc. Like, it shows you everything you need to know, so that's really cool. But the thing that's important with it is don't trust it 100%. Just in terms of like when you're posting your photos, for me, I should be posting in the evening because that's when most of my followers are active and online. However, I find when I do post in the evening, I get a much smaller reach and I don't actually get as much engagement on my photos. So, you know, it's definitely good to try different things and, you know, try posting in the morning, maybe try posting in the afternoon, and then try in the evening, and then just sort of see. And I have continuously tried to mix this up, but for me, I find if I post in the morning, I just get a better level of engagement. Obviously, your followers aren't all going to be from where you are. So if you post in the evening, it might be the middle of the night for most of your followers, or, you know, it could be early hours of like the morning or whatever. So I think trying out different times that you post is also a really, really good idea. In terms of what you're actually posting, make sure you're not just posting basically the same image every day or however often you're going to post, because it gets really boring and really tedious and people will just unfollow you. In saying that as well, the quality of your post is also really important. So, you know, spend a bit of time making sure that you get a really good image, you know, edit it well, you know, find your niche in terms of editing as well. I mean, I haven't found mine yet, that's for sure. I mean, I actually like quite overly edited photos, just in terms of like saturations and vibrance and, you know, contrast, things like that. Like, I like something that does look quite heavily edited, but I know that's not necessarily a popular thing to go for. But again, it's about knowing your niche, knowing your market, knowing your brand, knowing exactly what you want to put out there. In terms of editing, in terms of all these new things that you can do, like Facetune and stuff, I personally have never bothered with any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a great thing to change everything about yourself to put out there on social media. I think it creates quite a toxic image in terms of people are going to look at you and expect to be able to look like you and do things the way that you're doing it in a photograph, when really it's actually not that real. I think being real on social media is so rare now, but it actually goes quite a long way. I mean, I've never heavily edited my photos in terms of that kind of editing, and you know, I've gained now 140,000 followers in like about 15 months. So, you know, you don't need to do all that to gain followers. Really, really important is engaging with your followers. In fact, it's probably the most important thing, because without them, you don't really have a social, like a big social media platform or anything like that. You know, you are just another one of like billions of people on social media, you know, that's not really doing a lot. You know, when people comment on your photo, take the time to comment back up, because, you know, they've gone out of their way to comment something on your photo, so you should at least have the decency to reply to them. Same as like when you get messages, you know, reply to as many of them as you can. And story replies, again, reply to as many of those as you can. I mean, at the moment, I'm at a point where I do get flooded with messages sometimes, and I can't physically reply to everybody, but I will filter through. And, you know, if anyone like pays me a nice compliment, or, you know, is just asking me a question that isn't just how are you, or, you know, they're actually genuinely engaging with me, then I'll always take the time to reply. The only ones I don't now reply to are when people just say, hey, UK, because, you know, they're just looking for like a bit of a pointless conversation really. But, you know, I do try and reply to them as well, but when you get to a point of having so much, there's only so much that you can do, especially if you work full-time as well, which I already do. So taking the time to reply to people is so important, because they are important. Like, your followers are so important. Like, they are your social media. So, you know, treat them like you give a shit, because if you don't give a shit, you're not, I don't think you're personally really going to get anywhere. Like, you see a lot of people being really fake online and stuff, and it's actually quite easy to see through, I think, anyway. And I never expected to be in the position that I'm in now, and I have no idea where it's going to go, but I'm so thankful for every single person that does follow me, because, again, without them, I'm not anything on social media. So thank you, everybody that follows me. You guys are amazing. And if you don't follow me, link to my Instagram is in the description below. I'm also on TikTok, and obviously I'm on YouTube. Again, I know that you're not going to be able to reply to every single person, but I have a rule where in the first 24 hours, I will try and reply to every single comment on my photo. Well, I do reply to every single comment on my photo. And same with story replies and stuff like that. In the first 24 hours, I'll try and reply to every single one. It's just about putting a bit of effort in, because if you don't put a bit of effort in, why should anyone else put a bit of effort into you? I don't know. I just think it's a bit of give and take, really. And I think another thing that's really important is don't let it get you down. Like, when I first started this, it happened because I uploaded a video of me going like this with my moon tattoo, and I was wearing a t-shirt, and the brand of the t-shirt that I was wearing shared my like little like they shared like a still of it, or they might have shared the video, I can't even remember, but they shared it, and overnight I gained like 1,000 followers, and I only had like 400 at the time, and I was like, whoa, what's happened here? And then I thought that was really cool, and then I started getting really small brands like message me and be like, hey, you know, like, we love you to rep our stuff, we'll send you some bits, blah blah blah. And it was really cool, and it kind of just snowballed. And then some of the brands that I wanted to work with, I started like, you know, wearing their t-shirts and like tagging them in the posts and stuff. So I already showed that I was keen and interested. I didn't just expect something for nothing. Like, I already made an effort, and eventually it kind of worked out. I mean, I've still got a hell of a long way to go. Like, I'd love to be like working with much bigger brands and like doing other bits, but it's just taking it step by step. Like, it's still quite new and fresh to me, but, you know, it can happen for anyone. I mean, I'm 5'3", I don't have the body of a model, you know, I'm quite clearly like a tomboy, so I don't fit into any category that is like the model type, but I do social media influencing for brands. So, You know, it can literally happen for anybody. I think it's just about having the right attitude, knowing what you want to do, knowing how it's going to work in terms of what you're going to put into it. And it's also about not getting down if it doesn't work. Like, again, I was gaining like 10k a month and I was like, this is insane. And then it slowed down loads. And then some months I'd gain 2,000 and another month I'd gain 5,000. Like, it's so varied. And again, there is no recipe to it. Sometimes your photos are going to have a loads of reach and sometimes something's going to blow up and you're going to do amazing. Like, when I first started doing this, I had a photo that reached nearly 30,000 likes and I was like, what the hell? And then I expected it to like keep going. And now, like, my last photo that I uploaded the other day had like 4,500 likes. So it means nothing. Like, don't let it get you down, because it is what it is. And if you're meant to do well in it, you will. I think that's the best way to view it. And if you are starting to get sad and down about it, have a break. Chill out on it. Just, you know, maybe have a week off of it entirely, because it is not worth your mental health and making you feel like shit when really it's just social media. But yeah, I don't know if any of my tips and tricks have kind of, well, none of them were tricks really, but any of my tips have helped you. Let me know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that would be amazing. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Sorry I didn't put out a video for the last couple of weeks. I don't know what my weird hand actions have been this time, but again, thank you, and I'll see you next Wednesday.